If you're someone that cares about government transparency, then you should care about this. So just recently, Fight for the Future received an email notifying us that the government is going to be closing access to their APIs that allow us to post comments on regulations.gov. There's a lot of things that the government does that requires them to open up this comment process in which ordinary people can write their thoughts, views, provide information to the government on why it's good or bad. The government agencies that are adopting these rules have to read all of those comments and respond to them in order to adopt the rule. So if it's a bad rule, that's really important because that's how we try to stop it from happening. And also it lays the groundwork for future lawsuits. If they didn't adequately respond to the problems with the rule they're trying to adopt, then a lot of organizations that have strong legal capacity can take the government to court and say, no, you can't do that. What you're trying to do is flawed and pointed out to you by the public, and therefore this rule is invalid. And legal strategies like that have worked quite effectively in the past. By cutting off these APIs that organizations like ours use, they're making it harder for ordinary people to submit comments. What does that mean? That means that corporations, wealthy people, those with lots of access and influence, they're not going to have any problem submitting comments or having their viewpoints heard at these agencies. But ordinary people who have trouble navigating government websites, they're not going to be able to participate as well anymore. Five Future has been a leader in developing open source tools and access points for the public to submit comments to these agencies and helping to educate the public on why these things are important. And all of that is made more difficult by this action. The excuse that the government will use for cutting back this access is they're just trying to cut down on fraud. But that's not how you cut back on fraud, by blocking access to the public. The way you do it is by spending more time reading and checking the comments, and the public has a right to participate. There's no way to look at this other than an excuse to limit the public's access to having their voices heard. But it's really sad that they are closing off this access, this transparency, this ability to use technology tools to improve democracy.